The interstellar trading station floated like a silver jewel in the darkness of space. Hundreds of ships from different worlds docked there every day. Merchants shouted in strange languages, traders haggled over rare goods, and travelers hurried to catch their next flight. Among them walked humans, aliens, and creatures that seemed impossible. Captain Elias Kane moved through the station with calm authority. His sharp eyes scanned the crowd. He had worked here for years, managing cargo shipments and keeping the peace when trouble arose. He was a human who had seen battles in space, yet he had a reputation for clever thinking more than brute force. That day, a sudden hush fell over a busy corridor. People whispered and moved aside. Elias turned to see a young girl running toward him. She was unlike any being he had ever seen. Her skin glowed faintly blue and strange light patterns ran across her arms and face. Her hair shimmered like silver threads in the artificial lights of the station. "Please, please help me," the girl gasped, clutching his arm. Her voice was soft but urgent, trembling with fear. "Hide me from my father." Elias frowned. "Your father?"
Who are you?
"I cannot explain everything," she said, glancing nervously over her shoulder. He will destroy everything if he finds me. Please, Captain, I beg you. Just hide me for a while." Elias studied her carefully. There was something in her eyes and a mix of fear, determination, and desperation. He had faced danger many times, but this was different. This was personal. "Where do you want me to hide you?" he asked cautiously. "I have a bag." "With me," she said, pulling a small glowing satchel from her shoulder. "Keep it safe. It has everything. Everything he wants." "Please," Elias hesitated. Hiding an alien from a powerful being could bring him trouble, even danger to the station. But he also sensed the truth in her words. He nodded. "Follow me, quickly." They slipped into a quieter part of the station, a section used for maintenance and cargo storage. It was dimly lit, with metal walls and pipes running along the ceiling. Elias led her into a hidden storage room behind stacked crates. "Stay here," he whispered. "No one must find you." Lyra nodded, her glowing skin dimming slightly as she leaned against the wall. Elias looked at the bag. Strange symbols shimmered on its surface and faint humming noises came from inside. Curiosity made him peek. Inside were small containers glowing softly and tiny devices that seemed almost alive. He could not recognize most of them. Some were clearly mechanical, but others seemed organic, as if tiny life forms were trapped inside. Elias had seen advanced tech, but nothing like this. "What is all this?" he asked. It's my world," Lyra whispered. "My father wants it. He wants to control it all. I cannot let him." Elias nodded slowly. "And you came here alone?" She swallowed and nodded. "I had no choice. He would have found me if I stayed." Suddenly a loud alarm blared from the main station. Red lights flashed and automated announcements warned of incoming ships. Elias's heart skipped a beat. He moved quickly, opening a small access panel in the wall. "They're here," he said. "Your father's ships. They've arrived at the station." Lyra's eyes widened. "No, he cannot find me here." Elias placed a hand on her shoulder. "We'll be careful, but you need to stay quiet and trust me." They watched through a small viewport as massive warships approached. The hangar doors opened and dozens of armed guards disembarked. They were not ordinary soldiers. Their armor gleamed black and strange weapons were in their hands. Elias realized that this girl's father was not just a dangerous man. He was a warlord capable of controlling fleets of ships and armies of trained warriors. "We need a plan," Elias muttered. "If they find you, the station will fall." Lyra handed him a small device. "This can help, I think. I don't know exactly how it works, just use it if you must." Elias examined it. It looked like a tiny cube pulsing with energy. "I'll figure it out," he said. He led her through maintenance tunnels, weaving between pipes and hidden doors, avoiding the patrolling soldiers. Elias's experience in the field helped him stay one step ahead. He used his knowledge of the station's layout to create small traps and diversions. Alarms blared in distant sections, drawing the attention of the invaders away from them. Finally, they reached a secure storage bay. Elias locked the door behind them. He placed the bag on a metal table and stared at it. The glow from the containers reflected in his eyes. He had no idea what he was dealing with, but he knew it was powerful. "What is in this bag, really?" he asked again. Lyra hesitated. It's not weapons, not really. It's life. Technology that can change worlds. If my father gets it, he could control everything. I stole it to protect it." To protect the galaxy. Elias's mind raced. He had seen humans fight wars, survive ambushes, and invent incredible things, but this was beyond anything he had imagined. And here he was, a single human, tasked with protecting a being from a species that could probably destroy planets. The station shook suddenly, as if the very hull had been hit. Alarms blared again. Elias grabbed a panel and quickly sealed off the entrance. "We're not safe here," he said. "We need to move." Lyra nodded, fear and trust mixing in her glowing eyes. "I don't know where else to go," she whispered. Elias looked around, thinking fast. He remembered the station's old cargo tunnels, long abandoned but still intact. They could move through there, stay out of sight, and maybe escape the warlord's reach. "Follow me," he said, "and stay close. One wrong step and we could be trapped." They moved silently, Elias leading the way. The tunnels were dark, narrow, and full of obstacles. Pipes hissed steam, crates blocked parts of the path, and the hum of the station echoed eerily. But Elias's human instincts guided them. He knew how to move quietly, how to stay hidden, and how to survive against overwhelming odds. After what felt like hours, they reached a junction where the tunnel split. Elias paused, listening. Footsteps echoed faintly ahead. He motioned for Lyra to stay still. "They're close," he whispered. "We need to be faster." Lyra clutched the bag tightly. "I'm scared," she admitted. Elias smiled faintly. "Good, fear keeps you sharp. But don't worry, humans, we find a way." As they moved deeper into the tunnels, the hum from the bag grew stronger. Elias realized that the technology inside it was reacting to something. Perhaps the presence of the warlord, perhaps the station itself. He didn't understand it yet, but he knew one thing. Whatever was in that bag could change everything. Suddenly, the lights flickered, and the station's power dimmed. Shadows moved in strange patterns on the walls. Elias raised a hand to stop Lyra. He peered ahead and saw the dark silhouettes of armed figures approaching. The warlord's soldiers had found a way into the tunnels. Elias's mind raced. They were cornered. Every escape route was blocked. And yet, he refused to give up. He had faced impossible odds before, and humans had a way of surviving that aliens sometimes underestimated. He grabbed a small device from his belt and pressed a button. A low hum filled the tunnel, and a faint barrier shimmered in front of them. The soldiers stopped, confused. Elias used the moment to pull Lyra to a side exit, a narrow hatch leading to the old maintenance decks. They climbed through the hatch, gasping for air. For a moment, they were safe, hidden from view. Lyra sank to the floor, breathing heavily. "Thank you," she whispered. "I don't know what I would have done without you." Elias glanced at her, then at the bag. The glow seemed almost alive. "We're not done yet," he said. This is just the beginning. Whatever is in that bag, it could change everything, and someone wants it badly enough to risk an entire fleet." Lyra nodded, fear still in her eyes, but also a spark of hope. "Then we have to protect it." "No matter what," Elias smiled faintly. "Humans, we don't back down easily. Let's see if we can survive this together." As they moved deeper into the hidden corridors of the station, the hum from the bag seemed to pulse in rhythm with their steps. Elias couldn't yet understand it, but he knew one thing for certain. Whatever lay ahead, humans had a chance. And sometimes that chance was enough. The station above was in chaos. Warships patrolled the skies, and the warlord's searchlights cut through the darkness. But in the shadows, a human and an alien girl hid together, and the galaxy's future was quietly changing in their hands. The hidden corridors of the station were quiet, but tension filled the air. Captain Elias, Kane, and Lyra moved cautiously, their footsteps echoing softly against the metal walls. The hum from Lyra's bag pulsed faintly, almost like it was alive, reminding Elias that what they carried was far more important than any ordinary cargo. Outside, the station was chaos. Warships hovered in the docking bays and soldiers patrolled the halls. The warlord, Lyra's father, had already unleashed his men to search every corner. But Elias had a plan. He had seen humans survive impossible situations, and now it was time to show that ingenuity could match alien power. "We need to know what's in that bag," Elias said quietly. "If we understand it, maybe we can use it to our advantage." Lyra hesitated. "It's life. Technology from my planet. It can grow new ecosystems, repair destroyed worlds, even create energy sources. But in the wrong hands, it could destroy everything." Elias nodded. "Then we have to keep it safe." no matter what. They found an abandoned control room, dusty and forgotten. Elias carefully opened the bag, revealing its contents. Small, glowing containers held seeds of strange plants, each one glowing with its own light. Tiny devices hummed softly, moving as if they were alive. Elias's eyes widened. "These aren't weapons," he said. "These are miracles." "Yes," Lyra whispered. "My father wants to control them to rule star systems. I stole them to prevent that, but he'll stop at nothing to get them back." Elias studied the devices. Humans had made clever technology, but this was beyond anything he had ever seen. The devices seemed to respond to thought, light, and sound. He realized that with the right use they could create defenses, escape routes, or even traps. Suddenly the station shook violently. Alarms blared and lights flickered. The warlord's fleet had begun their attack. Soldiers in black armor moved quickly through the corridors, searching for Lyra. Elias knew they had little time. "We have to move," he said. "Follow me, and stay close." Using his knowledge of the station, Elias led Lyra through secret maintenance tunnels. He placed small traps along the way, panels that created false noises, lights that flashed to mislead the intruders, and motion sensors that triggered alarms in empty halls. The soldiers were skilled, but Elias's human ingenuity gave them an edge. At one junction, they reached a large chamber with multiple exits. Elias paused, thinking fast. "We need to choose a path that will confuse them," he said. He pulled out one of the small devices from the bag and activated it. A soft blue light filled the room, creating holographic images of Lyra in different positions. The soldiers, seeing duplicates of her, hesitated, giving Elias and Lyra a chance to slip through a side hatch. Lyra gasped. You're amazing. Humans really are clever." Elias smiled faintly. "We survive by thinking, not just by fighting." They moved deeper into the station, but the hum from the bag grew stronger. Elias realized it was reacting to something, the presence of the warlord's soldiers, or perhaps the station's energy fields. "It's alive," he muttered. "Or at least, it's smart enough to help us." Finally, they reached a large observation deck overlooking the docking bays. Warships hovered in formation, soldiers moving in organized patterns. The warlord stood on the command platform of his flagship, a tall figure with glowing armor and a voice that echoed over the speakers. "Lyra," his voice boomed, "return to me. You cannot hide from your destiny." Lyra's glow dimmed with fear, but Elias placed a hand on her shoulder. "Don't worry," he said. "We'll find a way." He looked at the bag and realized what he had to do. Using his tactical skills and the alien technology, he devised a plan. He carefully placed several glowing devices along the observation deck. "These will create a controlled reaction," he explained. "It won't hurt you, Lyra, but it will make him think twice." Lyra nodded, trusting him completely. She activated a device from the bag. Tiny seeds floated into the air, glowing and expanding rapidly. Within moments, the chamber filled with a dense, luminescent fog. The soldiers stumbled, blinded by the light. The warlord roared in frustration, unable to see or move his troops effectively. Elias seized the moment. He guided Lyra through a narrow escape tunnel leading to the station's outer docking bays. The soldiers tried to follow, but the fog confused their sensors and cameras. By the time they recovered, Elias and Lyra had vanished from sight. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly. Elias and Lyra reached a small shuttle hidden in a secluded hangar. He opened the cockpit and helped her inside. "We're not out of danger yet," he said, "but at least we can fight another day." Lyra looked at him, her bioluminescent markings glowing faintly in relief. "Thank you, Elias. You saved me, and everything in this bag." Elias smiled. "Humans, we don't back down easily. Sometimes all it takes is thinking fast and staying calm. And a little courage." They lifted off from the station, heading into open space. Below, the warlord's fleet searched desperately, but Elias had outsmarted them. For now. The bag sat between them, humming softly, a symbol of hope and power. "And, Captain," Lyra said, breaking the silence, I never thought humans could be like this. Brave, clever, fearless. Elias chuckled. We have our moments. But don't forget, it's not just humans. You played your part too. Together we're stronger than anyone expected. Lyra smiled, finally relaxed for the first time since arriving at the station. Then we protect it together, she said, glancing at the bag. No matter what comes next. Elias nodded. He knew the journey ahead would be difficult. The warlord would not give up easily, and many dangers awaited. But humans had survived worse. They had fought against impossible odds, and they had won by using intelligence, courage, and teamwork. He looked at the glowing containers again. The technology inside was powerful, yes, but it was also fragile. In the wrong hands, it could destroy worlds. In the right hands, it could heal them. And Elias knew that with Lyra's knowledge and human ingenuity, they had a chance to make a difference in the galaxy. As the shuttle glided through space, Elias plotted a course for a hidden human colony known for its security and secrecy. It was a safe place, at least for now, where they could study the bag's contents and plan their next move. Lyra sat quietly, finally able to breathe. She thought of her father, a ruthless warlord, and knew he would come for her again. But she also thought of Elias, a human who had risked everything to protect her. Somehow she felt hope that humans could fight for what was right, and that together they could change the future. Elias glanced at her. You know, he said, humans are not just strong. We have something else. Something your father probably underestimated. Lyra tilted her head. What is that? Cleverness, courage, and a refusal to give up, Elias replied. Even against impossible odds. That's what makes us human. Lyra smiled faintly. Then I'm glad I found a human like you. Elias chuckled. And I'm glad I found someone like you. Now let's make sure your father never finds this bag again. As they traveled through the silent stretches of space, the glowing bag between them pulsed softly, as if in agreement. The galaxy was full of dangers, but with courage, intelligence, and a strong heart, humans and their allies could face anything. Above, stars shimmered endlessly, and the future awaited, full of challenges, discoveries, and the promise of hope. And somewhere in the darkness, a warlord's fleet was preparing to chase them again. But Elias and Lyra were ready. Together, they had the power to protect life, fight for what was right, and survive, no matter what.